Good afternoon for me. Good evening to everybody else, depending where you are. It's Sunday, so that means it's another poetry show. So let's grab those pens and paper and craft something magical with words. And as always, please feel free to share any written poetry or prose in chat. We would love to be able to see it and read it and share it with everybody. Whew, I hope everybody again had a wonderful holiday, and we're heading towards the new year. So um, I'm sure it's going to be a good one for many of us. Usually there's some trials and tribulations along the way, but I think more than anything, in the last few years or so, we've kind of shown ourselves that we can surmount anything. And so I feel like this is going to be a good year. So I'll give it a few minutes to see when people pop in. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you. Please hit the like and share and subscribe. Hello, Irene. And yeah, this is my poetry that I like to share that I have written. There are times when I do like to share lyrics. In songs because I love songs. And Mama Sushi, how is baby Rowan doing? And how's Mama? And is Aurora enjoying her little baby sister? I hope you all had a beautiful Christmas. And this was probably Aurora's maybe first Christmas. No, this will be her second, I believe. Time flies. So, and then I'll share lyrics or I'll share, other poems, that I like. And there's Moira. Hello, Moira. So I got some peeps coming in. It's always nice. We get to go home next week. Aurora has been really gentle. Oh, that's beautiful. So baby will be home, new baby home for the new year. That's wonderful. I love that. Um, I just wanted to also share before we get started. Um, our buddy Jax, mangled unicorn, had to have surgery today. She reached out to me. She says it went well. Likely, probably, I think they're going to might keep her for at least overnight. So if we could all send our prayers to her and send her loving energy and healing. I told her I would be asking people, and she was very happy to hear that. So she's accepting, you know, um, all those prayers and good intentions and healing energy. So, and that's my Jax, my sassy boo. So if you all can do that, that would be wonderful. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Just a lot of us are going through things, with Miss Nancy as well. Keep sending Nancy prayers. She says she's getting better. She's feeling stronger. She's enjoying her books and her cards. Yes, you were wondering where Jax was. Yep, they had to take her into the hospital yesterday, and she got to see the surgeon last night, and they took her in this morning for surgery. Hernia related, and she was, kind of worried and scared, but I said, girl, with everything you've been through, you got this. Your cards have always been positive. You got people here that love you and, hold you in their prayers and their thoughts and their arms. And she goes, it went well. So thank you, everybody who had already sent prayers to her. I appreciate that a lot. So, yeah. And with that, let's get started. I've been going through, actually, I unpacked. I have, oh my goodness, I still have that journal from, I believe it was Janet Lee who sent it to me. I haven't written in it yet. I was going to make it my book of shadows. However, I pulled out my folder file, whatever, from the poems that I saved and brought with me. And oh my God, this just I've got so much work to go through. and I'm constantly writing like I will be tonight. So the writing is constant and ongoing, and trying to see if I can get this book up, off and running. Trying to play with some ideas, you know, ideas and genres that have been done. I'm just trying. Girl, was you listening? Did you hear? Oh my goodness, she is here. All righty, hernia bullshit. Tell me not to escape because I'm about to blow this joint. I'm nuts. Girl, you guys, girl, stay in night. Let them take care of you. At least the hospitals I've been overnight, the nurses would come in, check on you. Do you need anything? Would you like a jello, or would you like let them baby you, my dear. Take it easy, rest. I'm hoping hubby brought some like journals for you to write in or something to read. But yeah, I was just asking everybody to send you a lot of prayers and love and healing and all that good stuff. So, oops, I just accidentally got rid of my comments. There we go. So, just stick it out for the night, rest, not have to worry about kids or cooking or baking, or just some you time and the constant beeping. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were sharing that, Jax is sharing a room, with I believe it's a lady that has respiratory failure, and I know that was my mom. Um, put in your headphones and watch Heather. Oh, I was like, why do I have to put my headphones on, Heather? Yeah, head hurts. Liquids only. Oh man. Well, you said you were seeing something that was oozing a little bit, so you make sure they check that out. Make sure they check that for you. And I'm older than you, so it's kind of like the older sister telling the little sister to say, listen to the doctors, tell them what's going on, don't make a fuss, take care of you. I'm a runner or a wheelchair. I'm out of here. You can't catch me. Yeah, I can see that. That's funny. And all like the Keystone cops running around, da, 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 and they're all chasing around, and she's going vroom, 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 vroom. I'm trying to be good. I'm cracking jokes. Well, that positive energy, see, that's one of the things that helps people when they heal. They say, I know laughing can probably hurt, but, when you stay, in a good place as much as possible and do find moments to laugh, that does help our spirits, that does help the body go, oh, okay, let's it gives your body those signals that says, oh, we're good, so let's start healing. So yeah. Girl, I know how it must have been hard to come into chat, and don't worry about doing Madi things. You just chill, relax. um I'm using my dark wood tonight. Selena, for people who weren't there, Selena joined me last minute, said, hey, I have the deck too. I haven't even opened it yet. Would you like me to come on and we can do a review and chat and everything together? And I was like, yes. So yes, Moira, just don't laugh your stitches out. Yeah. Ooh, what did Jason bring you? Brought me some. Well, there you go. Oh, God, Jax, you're going to hate me. But come on, y'all. We grew up with them. Hainin' tough. Hainin' tough. Just channel your inner New Kids on the Block. Or as they say these days, NKOTBA. I don't know. All I know is my BSB, but they're adding the NKB, whatever. But yeah, do your Hainin' tough. So, oh man, if I had thought of that, I would have pulled up the lyrics. I had to do a dance routine in high school for Hainin' Tough, and that was part of a Hainin' Tough. We had to do that. Oh goodness, nobody wanted to be a part of that dance routine. Only a couple of people, because people really didn't like Ada, and she wasn't the most creative choreographer. But hey, I give her kudos for doing it. So But yeah, I have a soft spot for certain songs, especially from the 80s when it comes to high school and the musicals and stuff. It is a classic, and they're still popular, you know, just like my BSB. So, all righty. So like I was saying, I was going through, oh my God, all these poems. So I started reworking one of them, and this will probably still go through a few little here and there's, but this was started earlier this year or last year. I remember those days. The boy band era. Yeah, I wasn't into the new kids like everybody else with putting their picture. I wasn't. For me, it was my Def Leppard. It was my rock boys, at that point. It wasn't until my late 20s when the Backstreet Boys came out. And I had them on my wall. 28-year-old with them on their wall. But hey, you know what? I love the music. Nick Carter was my favorite. So never got to see them in concert, maybe someday. But I can't even believe, guys, it's been like they said, like 20 or 30 years now since the release of Millennium and stuff. And it blows my mind. And they got kids now. So yeah, time flies. It really does. But I like some NSYNC songs. I think on average, the Backstreet Boys could do better ballads and love songs to me than NSYNC. It was just too, I don't know. But when it came to dance tunes, yes, Backstreet Boys got some great songs. I mean, come on, Backstreet's back. You can't larger than life. But when it came to a lot of dance songs on the CDs, NSYNC had, I think, the upper game on that one there. But oh yeah, 98 Degrees and all those other bands. So you were never me with the Spice Girls, and they're trying to talk about maybe doing over the years. Nick's been trying to convince the Spice Girls to get together with them and do a tour with the Backstreet Boys. Could you imagine? I would never have the money or the ability to go see it, but that show would be killer. You could get a Wahlburger though. Their mom passed away. I heard a couple years ago. She was the one that got them started with all that and stuff. But yeah. Oh, yes, I do. And I actually did not listen to their music. Menudo, and Menudo is actually animal guts that Shan likes to eat every now and then. It's called tripe, but animal innards and stuff. But yeah, I never listened to the music, but which one was it? It wasn't Robbie Rosa. My cousin Louise liked Robbie Rosa, but we also liked the other one. And I had maybe one of his pictures on my wall. I can't think of his name though. But yeah. Yippers. I was a aha girl. I had their poster and stuff on my wall. When my cousin died, my aunt actually let me have Louise's aha poster. And at some point it got damaged or lost. So yeah, but yep, the only ones that were on my wall, were my Ralph Macchios, some of my Michael J. Fox. And then as I got older, no, the Monkees. Okay, I will say the Monkees. I had Mickey on my wall. Mickey was my favorite. So yes, I will get that out of the way. Hi, Selena. Tripe. Yeah, yuck. Oh, I think menudo is a soup made from tripe. Yep. Yeah, animal intestines and stuff. So Shan used to like getting that in Arizona because you could find it because of Arizona being close to the border. So you had a lot of, real cooked, and sold products from Mexico. And yeah, he yippers. And Selena, look who's here. She's still at the hospital, but she's kicking butt and taking names, and we're telling her to be a good little girl and stay for the night and relax and heal, and she should be home tomorrow. So yay. Nothing like, ugh, yeah, no. Mm-mm. Though I will say, Allison says she likes a good pork belly, and I'm like, I couldn't. I just can't. So, But yeah, it's funny, we were talking about Menudo, Selena pops in. We somehow got into the conversation of boy bands. And of course, because it's Heather. Oh, and Hayden Tough with the, yeah, okay, because you never know where I start and then where we end up. It's like I get lost somewhere in the middle. But so some of these poems, I mean, good Lord, I have to talk to Lennon and ask her how she made her books because I've got enough material here, um, you know, for 2 or 3 books. It's insane. Trying to was thinking of escaping. Heather said, "No, I will listen." The bake says you will stay because I don't think you're older than me, Jax. I just turned 55, so yes, Lennon is amazing. And I reached out to her, and Lennon will be joining me at some point for my Indigo Poetica. And for those who remember the um, Mystic Poet Society, that's something I did with Karen, Cara Bear, Bard of Cards, and she's been going through some stuff. And so when she's ready to come back to YouTube, and when her and I get together on Sundays, it'll be back up to the Mystic Poet Society. So 43, oh my God, girl, yeah. Remember that saying, if only I knew now what I knew then? But, that's life, right? So Selena, weird thing happened. I was starting to watch your show with Rochelle and the ladies. And remember yesterday how we were talking and all of a sudden, boom, we started both freezing up and we had mentioned energy and it froze up again. Girl, I don't know what's going on. I miss her too, sweetheart. I do. So we can still send prayers to Karen and her girls. That would be wonderful. So I'm watching, and I was going out to the side doing something, and I came back, and I'm like, "What the hell? You guys were all frozen." I'm like, I didn't accidentally hit the pause, and I'm like, "Girl, my whole computer froze." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I closed it, opened it up again, start going, and boom, it froze. I'm just like, what the hell? I think maybe certain energies are starting to freeze. And I'm like, it shouldn't be doing that. This is a brand new laptop. And so, yeah, it was really weird. And for people wondering what I'm talking about, they happened to Selena and I backstage last night. Well, Ange Moira is, I don't know if you know, but she left YouTube. She took down all her videos. We really don't know if she's coming back. I haven't sent her a message since summer. I really should. I keep telling myself not to forget, and I keep doing it. But Ange had to walk away. She said since she's done that, she's been happier. At least this is back in the summer when I talked to her last. She's more time for herself, for her family and friends. She enjoys going outside more, and she's not like, in for him to worry about doing shows and doing this and doing that. So yeah, she was taking time off. Yeah, so I don't know, my dear, if she's coming back or not, but from what I understand, all her videos are down. But she did leave. I don't know if it's still there, but on her community tab, she did leave an email if anyone wanted to reach out. So, but yeah, there's some shows they have tech issues. Y'all start, and yeah, for me it is. I went to a show yesterday briefly, thinking, "Oh, hey, I haven't been here in a while. I'll just pop in." And then when I was there, I was like, "Oh no, 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 no." That's why I haven't been there. So yeah. Um, Not saying that there was anything bad or negative with Selena's. It was just the energy. I mean, you had what, 6 women there who all pretty much practice the craft. And so with that type of energy, I'm not surprised. Emails are also she even got rid of her email. I did not know that. But yeah, Karen has been going through a rough patch for a while. We've all kind of seen what was going on before she went off air, and Selena and I haven't heard from her in our WhatsApp group. So we're hoping that her and the girls are good and that they're safe. So just a lot of people going through stuff. So, between Jax and Nancy and keeping Miss Tarot D's energy up and going, Deb H, I guess she's stage 4, but she's going to fight for as much time as she can. We got a lot of strong people here. Selena going through what she goes through physically. It just shows that we are strong, and sometimes we don't give ourselves the credit too. We were in, what was this talk about freezing? We were in prepper mode today, expecting an ice storm with gusting winds. Oh, Moira. Okay, I'm trying to remember, Moira. You said, so Mona Lee is Alabama, and I think you're Maryland. So that would make sense. Whew. Yeah, we actually, Canada. Oh, that's right. But still, same East. Yeah. Canadian winters can be brutal. Yep. I see, Jax. Girl, relax. Take it easy. I saw Karen a couple times over at Truth Wave. I don't know what's Truth Wave. I don't know what that is. Probably another app or another social media platform, I would assume. So yeah, we woke up to like 30 some degrees. We had fog and mist, and then it cleared up, and then it hit 45. And Shannon and I went for a walk, and the sun is out, and very nice. Victor's channel. Victor who? I told you, Selena, my circle has gotten smaller since certain things this past summer and whatnot. It just seems like within the year, my circle's getting, smaller and kind of just, waving there in the breeze, waiting for some new leaves to bud, some new buds and leaves to blossom. But yeah, it was a while ago. Okay, I'll have to check Truth Wave. I think Truth Wave was the meditation guy that she talked about, if I remember correctly. So one of these poems, this is still going to take some work. Yeah. Bundled up, ladies, bundle up. I'm going to take a quick sip of tea because all of a sudden my voice is going dry. And so the poem that I brought for tonight, that will eventually be reworked, but I'm getting really happy with it. This is the third time I put it down on paper. Alrighty. She awakens amongst the charred remains of New Year's morning. Scattered embers pulse like diamonds, creating constellations within the layers of mottled flesh. Rendered with charcoal upon fibers like ancient papyrus, crinkling and burnt edges, inking an ancient map. Windswept snowflakes creating crystalline sigils woven within her strands of hair. Beaded teardrops veiled behind vaporous tendrils of her shivering breath. Shrouds of morning grays, peaceful as a kiss from death. The sun began to rise, reaching for its moon. Light flickered in her eyes. Her shadow remained at her side. Together they found the strength and rose. And that's what I have. Janet Lee! I mentioned you earlier. All these, that book that you bought, that journal, I still haven't written it yet because I was going to make it a book of shadows, girl. I don't know. I've got so much poetry here. I may just fill that book up with rewritten poetry. So, but yes, that is the poem that I brought tonight to share. Snap, snap. At some point, I'm going to share this public here. There's a couple forums I can look at. It's just now that it's winter and they happen, at night, it's kind of like, oh, do I want to go out? Oh, you summoned me then. Yes, I guess so. And I think there was another one. See, I've been I'm supposed to be good lately at writing down dates and times when I write certain things. Um, Last year with the place and all, it kind of got away from me. And then there were poems that I was taking out of other journals, ones I got rid of that I didn't like, and then other ones I kept to rework. And so I was supposed to be really good at doing that there for a while, but um, so yeah, but these are little pieces I thought I would. Um, now, if I can only summon $1,000,000, right? Like that Bare Naked Lady song. If I had $1,000,000, I'd buy you a green dress, but not a real green dress. That's cool. Um, but I like how they put the fur coat and they said, but not a real fur coat because that's cruel. Lots of summoning lately on many shows. I love it. Now, if I can only summon Miss Tarot D, I can summon Tom. Who else do we want to invite to the party? Maybe Allison will pop in. Maybe Miss Nancy, the poetess herself. But here were a few other ones. Her sacred folds are scorned. I close my eyes. I hear the stones evolve from the bones within our ancestral yard. I don't remember writing that, but that's got a lot of potential. I forgot you're supposed to be putting salt down. Yeah, you don't want to slip and fall, Irene. Let's see. This is why I started noticing maybe a change in my channel because I was referring to ancestors and bones and things a lot. Evolution, sensing my spirit moving through interdimensional blueprints, DNA of Gaia's core. I feel her pull my soul downward, caverns of Mercury, scrying, pools for Aztec gods, bones laid bare, the jaguar growls. I'm in her stare. This is Maya. I have not. Desiree, hello, my dear. Oh, goodness. Oh, I forgot to take this down. Oops. We're doing poetry tonight. Desiree, oh my goodness. See now what StreamYard is doing different is that when you ended a show and you took it automatically took it down. Do I have a poetry one in here? Yep. So what I do, Desiree, you're new to my channel, is that I share poetry that I've written, maybe other poetry that I've come across that I love and I want to share with everybody. Of course, song lyrics because I love music. And then what I do is I open up the floor. People can share what they write in chat, and I put this up on the screen for people to see. And I also do, I'll pull a couple cards, I'll do a reading, and then I'll do a tiny little 3 or 4 line or so poem that inspires me from, the titles and the cards. So, well, you didn't have to. So, well, hold on a second. Leave that there for a minute. I just wanted to see if there was something else I wanted to share. I know that you were in chat for the holidays, and that you told all of us to wish you luck, that you were going to spend time with family. I hope that that family visit went well. That everyone stayed amiable and celebrated nicely together. Oh yeah, this one here I want to work on. Winter wanted one more dance. He extended his hand to Gaia, gave her a corsage made of ice-encrusted crystals and a veil of softly fallen snow, gifting her with an exquisite. Oh, wait a minute, I rewrote that. Oops. I changed that. Back up. Gifting her with an exquisite corsage made of finely encrusted ice crystals, dappled on newly grown daffodils. So it's rough, but I like that one. So, all righty. So those were the poems I wanted to share. And for today, Selena, I brought my dark wood and I've got my Lenormand that I think will go well. I know is going to go well with it. And I can open up the floor for the poetry reading. So, Desiree, let's take a look because when it comes to readings, I'm very careful on what I read on. And what I mean by that is when it comes to like third party, where the question is around me having to tap into another, person's energy without their permission. I mean, I do investigative tarot, but that's actually looking into a case and the energies and not necessarily tapping into individual people involved or asking, the person who's in spirit, to help with their case, that kind of thing. But let me see if we can take a look and see if maybe we can reword it somehow. So let me see. I can tell you that you're very frustrated. Yeah, I would be upset when I'm surprised that there is such corruption because I thought with, everything that the U.S. government has done, that would strengthen, you know, um, the elders and the people, to help each other and their communities to fight back in their way and thrive. And so for me, I've been very shocked at hearing how much. I mean, even the area that I came from, I heard about corruption as well, especially with casinos and whatnot, and how the money isn't trickled down through everybody in the community that necessarily needs it. But let me take a look here. How do I expose the corruption within my tribal justice system and council? Um, well, I'm sure you must have written down ways that you think you can do that in a safe manner. I hate using the word politically, but I know there is politics on tribal lands. See, I am trying to figure out how I can help you with this without being familiar enough with um, this different form of government. Um, let's see, what else did you write? I'm trying to integrate my shadow self, and it's rough. I'm trying to respond to the situation that I'm in a loving and kind way, and I'm winning so far. It's just very stressful. Okay, so sorry, I read the wrong thing. Yeah, yes, I have, and it's scary, and that's that kind of stuff. No matter who you are, no whether you are, whether you live on a reservation, when you live on federal land, it's just people are people. We have rights, humanity, it's innate. We should all be treating each other no matter who we are, where we're from, etc., etc. Why it's so hard for the human race to get their heads out of their backsides and just learn to be kind to one another and work with one another. I mean, there is plenty for everybody, and why certain individuals just want to take more, I just. Okay, so let's look at this then, Desiree. Um, I can pull cards and say, what guidance can Desiree's ancestors um, give her in regards to, or not in regards to, what advice, what message can Desiree's ancestors give her in hopes of helping her people? Um, hopes of helping her people or helping expose For me, it's more like how can you help your people? Um, I just hate politics. It really is. It's disgusting and it's dirty. And oh, so let me just, so, okay. Dark Tarot. So, whoa. Okay. We'll look at that in a second. So, what does Desiree's indigenous, well, any ancestors of yours? I don't know, Desiree, if you are 100% indigenous or if you have, other nationalities, but let's not limit to just one. What can Desiree's ancestors, what guidance can, and does, what kind, okay, what guidance can Desiree's ancestors give her regarding injustice and corruption in her community? Okay, let's see how. Okay, that flipped out. Well, yeah, that's showing what's going on. So with this deck, the images are a little different. Let's see what we have here. Okay, let's take a look at our new book here, because Sasha is an amazing author. Let's see something here. Okay, so this is where we're going to start. Okay, we're a Heinz. We're a Heinz like 57. We're a little bit of everything. So automatically your card, Desiree, is the Nine of Swords. So they are acknowledging that you are very anxious about this. You lose sleep over it. And it's also a card about cruelty. And so everything that you are talking about. So this is obviously the top energy, the viable energy, and they're seeing this and they're acknowledging this. The underlying energy is the Four of Swords, which is a card of rest and respite. But what's interesting about in this deck is that, she's resting, but she's also got a sword in her hand in case she needs to protect herself, because obviously there's somebody coming in. So while this is supposed to be a peaceful respite, in this deck, it's not quite. But so let's take a look at that. And that is swords. This could be possibly an energy. Okay, so this would be like the underlying energy. So okay, so with this card, I'm going to still look in the book, but with the underlying energy, this is the fear coming in. It feels like if you are afraid to explode, you wait till you see the middle card. But when you are, so this is acknowledging that you're afraid of the retribution. You need rest. You're resting, but there's still that fear of basically someone coming to you, and you've got that hand in that sword. But I want to see what Sasha wrote, her perspective on this. So let's see. Four of Swords, happily never after. So let's take a look at this. 4 is the number of stability. Swords are the suit of the mind. It is the calmness and quiet that we enjoy when mentally balanced. Yet even the surface water is bound to be touched by wind sooner or later. The mind is an ebb and flow of thought, realization, logic, and knowledge. And I see how that connects to with that Nine of Swords. with the thoughts, being unable to get away from these thoughts. A woman sleeps, or does she? A man approaches her bedside wearing dastardly gloves. Three swords hang precariously above his body. The woman holds tight to the fourth sword. What happens when the story you cherished, loved, and believed in doesn't work anymore? How do you adapt when stability is threatened? Can you accept truth when it stares you in the face? Old stories are dying. The new narratives must unravel. It is the nature of evolution. All things want to grow. You have the means of protection at hand. You have the power to adapt to any situation once your mind is made up. Trust your inner voice. Hear the inner whisper speaking truth in your ears. Know what you know, react accordingly, sleep well. Wow. Your middle card is the Seven of Swords, and this is a card about theft. Theft, betrayal, sneakiness, underhandedness. And so this is the acknowledgement of what you were asking the question about regarding the corruption and what's going on where you live. And with this card in this deck, she is taking. So it's very interesting. These are all swords. So this is all, we're going to be looking at this. You got a couple other cards that flipped, but this is focusing on the mental anguish that you're going through, the mental protections that you are asking for, that you're seeking, the peace of mind that you are seeking. And for me too, this is like, she's in this card for me in this reading, she's taking back what was stolen from her. And you've got that in this card, that big black wolf in the back. And so this being the card in the middle for me, representing, you at this moment, you're seeing, it's acknowledging the theft, but it's also seeing you wanting to take back what's been stolen from you and your people. Now, the two cards that flipped out is the Nine of Cups, which is interesting because the Nine of Cups is about emotional happiness, satisfaction. Now, in this card, the cat got a hold of a mouse. So obviously the kitty cat's happy and fulfilled because it was able to get food to eat. And with the Nine of Cups, it shows somebody in traditional tarot, somebody who is very successful and loves to show and to share their wealth and happiness with others. So Kitty here apparently is hoping that his little birdie that he caught, will show people, this is my success, this is my fulfillment. Look what I've been able to create. So let's look at that way for you now. So this is that emotional satisfaction. So what I'm kind of feeling here, I don't know if you can do grassroots kind of work, where you have people that can come together, maybe not on a political level where you're out. I mean, protesting, I don't know how that works on a reservation. Here, typically, most of the time, people can protest and there's no certain type of retribution for, for citizens to a degree. I mean, we all know what's going on in this country, but I don't know how things work differently on the reservation. But I don't know if there is maybe a grassroots group that you can maybe volunteer at to help. If you're afraid to put yourself in the direct lines of speaking out publicly, maybe working behind the scenes, connecting with your ancestors. I'm feeling like more than ever, we need our ancestors to do ceremony, to do ritual. Because, like Jack said, the way you win is by shining your light, because the light helps light what's in the darkness, and that darkness helps, you see the light. So it's all about standing in one's truth. And the other card that flipped out for you, my dear, is the High Priestess. Okay. And the High Priestess is all about wisdom, trusting your intuition, and connecting and tapping into the divine feminine. Now, I don't know if, because I know that there are people who will include indigenous native um, deities as goddesses. Whether that's acceptable or not, I'm not sure. But if there are any indigenous or native deities, even you're like again outside of indigenous and or other nationalities you are, if you can reach out to all the ones that can help, maybe you can connect with on a spiritual level, like a ritual, a ceremony, setting intentions and calling for um, the assistance, to help. Um, I'm seeing like the going to the powwows and doing dances. And when you do the dances, calling in your ancestors and asking them internally, let this dance, let this music, let these prayers of me and my people help restore balance. But in the end, all of that is within you and the knowledge that you have and the knowledge from your ancestors, my dear. Um, Let me just see one more. And I'm thinking, oh my God, am I going to write a poem to this? um, ooh, here goes the cards. They're slipping and sliding. Slipping, sliding away. Then the closer you're near to your destination, the more you slip, slide in a wave. Oh, that might be interesting message too. Working too hard to get to something, we slip and fall. So taking our time, being present, being in the moment, and not allowing that fear to affect your thoughts, your sleep, and instead to help inspire. Um, let's see, what did I get from? I got the heart. Listen to your heart. Call out to the heart of your ancestors, to the hearts of your people. Again, sometimes people think the only way through, something that's political corrupt is through just politics alone. But there are so many other things that we can do, with words, writing words down, intention again. I just keep getting intention, ceremony, dance, grassroots, community, um, ship, moving things forward, moving ahead. Also, to me, that makes me think of taking control of that wheel of that ship and guiding it to exactly where it is that you want it to go. And then I have fish, which is interesting because fish is about abundance. It's about business. It's about, financial. So, and again, prosperity. So that's very interesting. Let's just see one more. An anchor. So getting grounded, getting anchored, connecting with the earth, connecting with, your ancestors, and the fish to the water. I mean, it just, yeah, that's where I'm going to stop with the reading. Let me see if I can do, oh, this poem here is going to be something other than, wow. I don't know if I can even write a poem. This is so personal. Um, I don't mean personal, but so instead of looking, just let's see, the ancestors. Okay. So, Desiree, I have here, there are paths, many feet have walked them, some soft, gently trodden, others ragged, well worn. You must find the middle, ask your ancestors to guide, for they've been with you since the day you were born. That's what I have for you, my dear. Let me just do a quick sip here and then I'll check chat. Okay, let's see how far I got going. Okay, alrighty. Let's see. I've got my pen and paper. Thank you so much. No worries, my dear. This is interesting reading. Reminds me of time I didn't quite trust what was going on. I was right, not easy at all. Yeah. Okay, Celine. I have you on the list. Thanks, Jax. Yes, she is. Warm blanket. Ooh, snuggle, snuggle. Yes, we need ceremony to get back to basics. We do. We live with so much concrete, and we're grateful to have the housing, the foundations, the plumbing, and everything, but we don't balance it right. We live so much on concrete that we don't take time to go outside, be in nature, take our shoes off, put our feet to the earth. We've lost touch so much. Hmm. They're interested in our journeys as well. Yep. We are all related. It would be hard. I'm just trying to help people recognize, like, we don't have to accept this. Also, call on protections too. Um, I don't know if you have any local medicine men or women that can help with protections, or somebody that can teach you. Um, yeah. And Jax has done a lot of work because of her son. Jax, if I remember correctly, your son being trans. If I'm wrong, excuse me, please correct me in chat. And you go to bat a lot for him. And it's just amazing what you're able to do. Who says it has to be a certain way? What do they sign my paycheck or something? Yeah. Um, please do. Change can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah. Let's see. Thank you all for advice and spiritual support. I need to get back into ceremony so I can focus on positive things. Me too. I've fallen out of that. I need to do more of that too. Okay, thank you. That was beautiful. Hi, Miss Nancy. How are you, my dear? And let's see, Judith is here. Hi, Judith. Yes. Gay trans male, cut path. And you living in Florida too. And so, the fight that you have to put up there, no one should have to do any of that, but I will walk with them as long as they wish. We all need help. Yep. All righty. So, Miss Tarot D! It took a little while, but I conjured Miss Tarot D. So, Miss Tarot D, in the beginning, you missed where I was talking about. Anyway, I was talking about Nancy. So, Nancy made it. Who did I mention? I mentioned Jackson. She popped in, and then I said, "Who else do we want to conjure?" I go, Miss Tarot D, Miss Nancy, Tom. I did it, sort of. No, Miss Tarot D did it. It's all her. I didn't do nothing. All righty. So, Selena. So, Desiree, I hope that helps, my dear. I tread because all of our readings, they're for entertainment purposes only. So I always have to state that. And so with the question, with certain questions, I just need to take a look at them the best way I can possibly ask the cards, energy wise, and for YouTube things. But I was still formatting my new computer. Oh, have fun. Oh, so Judith says my brother is trans. All right. Yeah. And for those coming in a little later, if you can give a lot of love and light and healing energy to Miss Jax. She had surgery today and she's being taken care of quite well by the lovely folks at the hospital. So we commanded her to stay and relax and chill and let them dote on her. And she's a good girl. Maybe she'll get the red jello instead of the yellow jello. And they'll let her go home tomorrow. Let's see. My dear. Yes. She got a break from work and she joined me last night, which was so much fun. Thank you for popping in, Miss Tarot D, and to say hi with Selena and I last night. There we go. So, alrighty, Selena. Let's see what we get. And I'm using my new deck, the Darkwood. It's like you get one day off and it's like, oh, what do I do? I did that for a while. I had 2 jobs and my one day off was a Sunday. And if the weather was nice, I went to the Wolf Hollow Refuge to sit and howl with the wolves and listen to them talk about, wolf conservation. Whoa, my goodness. What do we got here? Selena, girl, the last time I read for you, the Emperor came up, and you said that's your dad. How interesting. Let's get a couple of Lenormands here. Oh, these are very difficult to shuffle. I knew they would be, but I had to get them. All righty. So you got one of the sexy cards, girl, that we were talking about last night. Queen of Pentacles. So 2 cards flipped out. I'm going to set them there, and I'm going to look immediately at the 2 that I pulled from the top and from the bottom. So, of course, you got the Emperor, and I know you always say that's your dad. But I'm also feeling like this is, let me remember, Jason. Is that hubby's name? Oh, I just looked down. My husband. Oh, I thought you said your husband. I was like, oh, what? So to me, this is feeling very like strong male energy, either dad, your husband. But what I love is that the again, like before, the conscious energy, the visible, tangible energy is this emperor. And I know I've related to you in the past, having to be this emperor energy to be able to get you through the school, through the work, being a wife, being a mom, doing your content. And I know you've related it to your father, but I'm also feeling like with this one here, this could also very well be hubby, because of the strength that I'm feeling, the strength that he lends you, and the underlying energy being that Queen of Pentacles, allowing you to be, not allowing, but giving you the support and the strength, and the ability to be able to be that Queen of Pentacles, to be, the nurturer, to be the constant student wanting to learn, wanting to have that sense of security, stability, and still being able to nurture others besides yourself. And that queen also being a teacher, being a mentor, especially when it comes to the earth, being grounded, teaching about the earth, teaching about um, again, like the chakras, getting grounded. And I love that little bunny, because that bunny is that fertility, that creative side of you that's constantly wanting to learn creative ways of learning, creative ways of planning, executing, while still being that sexy, Queen of Pentacles. And for those, I mean, in this deck, the pentacles are apple slices, with the pentacle, the seeds and the stars in the middle. Very, very cool. The two cards that flipped out, I did get the Seven of Pentacles. So this is about, for me, resting, taking it easy, and knowing that everything that you are working for is going to come to fruition. Um, Kind of a little bored waiting and kind of fell asleep. But for me in this, it's that scarecrow's watching over your harvest. It's making sure that nothing touches it. It's telling you, you get the rest that you need. It will come to fruition. It will ripen, and it will come to fruition precisely when it's meant to. And the other card that came out with that is the Justice card. And for me, this is feeling kind of like, um, not just with the balance of it, trying to balance all that, but sometimes kind of sitting back and saying, man, where's the fairness in all this? Why do I, yeah, that, but what it's saying to me is that you are taking it in stride. You acknowledge where there is imbalance, you acknowledge where there is unfairness. Um, and you, instead of internalizing, I don't know where this is coming from, Selena, instead of internalizing it, you kind of like raise the sword, not just for yourself, but for others. So, Desiree, this is a very interesting card too coming through, because Selena mentioned ancestors and wanting to, and she also mentioned that she's first generation. So, for her, this is about showing the justice, the equality, the fairness, um, and also kind of feeling like this having to do with work too, and schools. Just like, it to me, it is unfair having to work, that many. I didn't think it was actually allowed in the States to have someone only have one day off, and to work that many hours. So with the stale energy of where is the fairness, where is the justice in all of this, you still hold that sword, you still stand, you sit proud, you sit tall. And for me, these two people down here, it's not like, I mean, it almost feels like the devil card too. But to me, those are, you're showing others that you don't need to remain in bondage. You have the power within yourself, to set things right. And this could be maybe karmically as well. So I know some people refer this to as karma. And happy birthday, Hector. Oh, I didn't know Hector's birthday. Say happy birthday, Hector. So, but yeah, this card feels kind of like you got the justice going in here, Selena. You've got the two on their knees, like the devil card being in bondage to maybe this is people trying sometimes trying to seek justice being blind. People don't think that justice is achievable, and there you are standing, sitting straight, staying firm with the sword and the truth, saying yes, it can prevail, it will prevail. And then at the same time, with the eyes being full too, it also almost kind of feels like Eight of Swords, where you have the power to remove that blindfold and to be able to move past, the swords to get out of that frame of mind. And with your Lenormands, you have Clover, which is about success, happiness, joy, again, prosperity. You do have the Candle card, which is lovely. This isn't typical in Lenormand. This is an extra one, but lighting the candle, you being the light in the world, you lighting, being a light also to ancestors, lighting the candle in memory of and lighting that candle in honor of yourself, almost kind of like birthday candles too. Candles show us ways through the dark, and so just keep following that inner candle, that lantern, that hermit. Don't lose that light. And the bottom card, is the cross. So there's a lot of pain and suffering that you're going through right now. With having to deal with the work, with the physical issues, with school. So there is suffering, there is some sacrifices having to be made. But never forget your light, my dear, and the light of others that you can call on to help you through this. And I see good things from what we've talked about coming forward for you, especially with that. To me, that Clover and that Seven of Pentacles goes right together. And I know you'll know what I'm talking about. So, hello, Mona Lee Gaia. So let me see if I can I'll listen to a little bit of a poem. Oh, how inspiring. And the cross card, too, having to do with, suffering or injustice or fairness, also with the sword. Wow. So, Selena, I have for you my sword of truth glints in the light of my sacred flame, forged within the harvest of my dreams, rooting, growing, budding. I am earth, I am sky, I am flame, I am divine. And that's what I have for you, my dear. Time for a sip, sip. Oh, my goodness, what happened? What happened, Miss Tarot D? Ooh, what's going on here? Time to spill the tea. Spilling the tea with Miss Tarot D. There we go. So yeah, we had 10 guests over for my. Oh, so happy birthday to you, Hector. They all received apple cider oil. Ooh, apple cider oil. That smells so good. I bet I can just. And pine salve. Oh, Miss Tarot D. Yes, Nancy, her oils and sprays. Boy, I missed a lot during the reading. He's giving me support your husband. Okay, said pay rains. No, that's a good thing. Okay. I had a reading yesterday, and today I had a past life spread that need. Ooh, past lives. I like to know more of mine. I really don't know how she does it all. Yep. David. Oh, it's David. I have to think because my nephew's name is David. Woohoo, that's me. I have 3 coffee orders and 2 readings in 3 days. Wow. My goodness. So what was rude? Yesterday we had about 10 guests over. Okay, resting me. Selena, the Santa Marte oil has helped me draw closer to her. Such a blessing. It helps so much when I'm feeling low. Thank you, Nancy. Miss Tarody, what is pine salve used for? Let's see. I mean, I get compensated well for the OT, but still a lot. Yeah, it just. Oh, me too, Miss Tarody. Me too. I'd be flying us all on a jet to Paris, have a night on the town, then go over to Italy, have a good Italian cooked meal. Then we can go over to the UK and visit all our peeps over there. So thanks for stopping in to say hi, Mona. Okay, Miss Tarot D. What's this here? It was very good. Made 4-course meal for the kids Christmas Day. It was good time to spend time with them until my landlord lost her. Oh, even on Christmas, her rent is due. Wow, that's awful. I don't know about a burden. Do you really think it's a burden, sweetheart? Flames from one candle can be used to light many others. I don't know if it's a burden. It might be. Miss Tarot D got some gifts today. Okay, Judith, got you. Oh, I need to go. I was just thinking about that. I didn't see your comment, but I was wondering if you were fading. I'll see you around. Hopefully I can go home. Yes, take it easy. Do what the doctors say. And once you get home, oh my God, don't push it, girl. Let the family help you for once. Okay, so I'm like, whoops, why is this? Don't freeze. Oh, thank you. I do better when I have enough time instead of trying to. Yeah, I'm sorry, Judith. Something else. Yes, around the world tour. There we go. Alrighty, so Judith, let me take a quick sip. I think I'm all out of tea. Not just a little bit of tea left. Alrighty. Now, thank you everybody for. Oh my goodness, it's been almost an hour and a half already. Nancy, are you writing anything that you want to share in chat? Everybody in chat, you write something, even if it's just a couple lines, haiku, just a thought. Be happy to share. So, Judith. Heather, I got a lovely painting from a friend who recently started. Lovely. I would love to see it, Nancy. And Miss Tarot D, while you're hanging out with us, I have officially decided, and I know that you would understand this, and you know what I'm going to share. But I've decided that I'm going to find out how much, not how much, but see if I can have one of the local places around here, WorkSource, help me with tuition. But I'm going to see if I could. I'm going to see. I'm going to um, get my peer advocate certification. I'm going to go for it. In New York, it was free. Here, it costs, but I think there might be some programs I can reach out to to help me with that. Oh, ding, ding, ding. Okay, that's Nancy. Let me just turn the ding off. Thank you, Nancy. I'll look at it when I'm done with the show. Yes. And then that way I can use my art and journaling and everything to be able to create something. All righty. Okay. Judith, let's take a look here. Oh, I love how these Lenormands go with the dark wood. Let me grab my pendulum for something. Ooh, excuse me. All righty, just got to ask a question. Okay. It wasn't letting me ask one of the questions, but let's get going here with Judith. So, and Jackie's there. Hey, Miss Jackie B, and Miss Jackie B, if you're nasty. It's going to be joining me tomorrow for the Sacred Feminine, and I will shoot you off, Jackie. I have the thumbnail done. I mean, I have everything done. I still have to shoot it off to you. I don't know if I did today or not, but I will definitely after the show tonight. So, Judith, your top card, your tangible energy, viewable, kind of like in the face kind of energy, is the Eight of Wands. So we've got something going on that is moving quite quickly. And Celine and I were discussing the card yesterday, and it's like, is she, and what we were feeling is that, and she's a mermaid, and we were feeling that it was like she was elevating the wands herself. She was pulling in, because the wands are about desire and willpower, creativity. And with whatever she wants to manifest, that energy is going out. She is shooting off and out and levitating those wands. So she's using all that belief within her, and it's just shooting those wands right out. So we've got some wonderful movement going on here. Now, the middle card that's connected with you right now is the Knight of Cups. And with the Knight of Cups, I asked my pendulum, because I didn't feel this was you, but I like to have my pendulum verify for me. But I asked if this is somebody in your circle, and it said yes. So the Knight of and look at this. He's got a nice little picnic and everything there ready for you. Um, Not sure if you're married or if you might be looking for a companion. Um, but this card doesn't necessarily have to be that. This could, what I'm getting is this is an individual who is very kind, very gracious, someone who likes to maybe take you out for lunch, that is a very kind and loving and caring individual. They're very empathic. They're very, in touch with their feelings, and in that way, I mean, they can be moody themselves, but um they tend to, wear their heart on their sleeve, so to speak. They like to make sure that, others emotions are, fulfillment are met. So it's a lovely energy right here. And then I have the bottom energy. I got the 3 of Cups. And so we've got 3 black kitties sitting around with some cups. Who knows? Maybe there's some milk or cream in there for them. But I love this. It's, that celebration, being with people, that uplift you, that make you happy, that, understand you. And so it's a beautiful, celebration. And again, there's that little spark, of fire there. So I like that. It feels very spiritual. Like this is a very spiritual reading. This deck was actually created, by Sasha and Abigail, with shadow work in mind, but I see it very playful as well. And with your Lenormands, I have bouquet of all things. So again, bouquets were given as a form of, sign of love, of friendship. Um, um, I'm looking for another word to fit in with this. Bouquets were also given, when to make people feel better. So the bouquet is, is a beautiful card, a dede, right? The bouquet is a beautiful card to have because it shows a blossoming friendship. It's, people sharing their love for one another, their kindness, their caring, their compassion. So overall, it's a very beautiful card of love, and gifting. Now in the middle, we have snake. So looking at this Lenormand, I'm wondering if this is a different aspect now for your reading that we're going through. Um, This may resonate with the knight. I am not sure. But we do have the snake card, and the snake is about being careful of people that are not who they say they are. The proverbial snake in the grass. Sometimes the snakes are painted with green, green with envy. Someone who is kind of venomous. So while you're being handed a bouquet, make sure there's not a little snake cotton in that bouquet, my dear. And then the next card I have, which is interesting, is book. And I know it's kind of hard to see the ravens, but this is my raven shadow. And that raven is right there. And in this one here, the raven's grabbing that snake saying, I don't think so. Um, so this book to me represents knowledge. You may have history with this individual who is the snake or the snake energy. I'm looking at that Knight of Cups, and I didn't ask my pendulum if this was somebody trustworthy because he was on both sides of 8 of Wands and 3 of Cups. But again, the Knight of Cups in a reversal can be somebody who is emotionally manipulative. Again, they, kind of like a gaslighting in a way. They can be emotionally unstable. Again, emotionally abusive, narcissistic. So this is a really interesting reading. Let me just ask my pendulum. I'm not going to look at chat yet because you did get one more card for the Lenormand. And you got the garden, which is about, being in the public. The garden was always a place back in Miss Lenormand's time, where people kind of went to gossip to see what was going on. Stuff like reading a newspaper. You went to the garden. Things were public. Things were on display. So let me just kind of focus again on this night, seeing that when I laid the cards down, the snake went naturally, was went right over the knight. So let me just see, is this Knight of Cups somebody that Judith needs to be wary of? Is this someone? So I'm getting a yes spin. Do they mean her harm? Not in that sense. I won't answer that. Okay. So it's the cups, emotional. So just be wary now with the garden card. I don't know. For me now too, with the garden, this can be something where everybody can be seen. This could be also social media on a platform. So I don't know if this is somebody that you know through social media, or somebody that you met in person. But with this garden, and then that Knight of Cups, having a picnic all set up, kind of like you would at a garden, or a park. Um, yeah, I'm just going to go with this is somebody that you might want to be wary of, or you already may be, that has done some stuff publicly, the book history. Maybe they're trying to offer you a bouquet, saying here's a peace offering, so to speak. But then again, that snake there being right in the middle. Um, with the Eight of Wands and the Three of Cups, this could very well be this individual's being attracted towards you because you are happy, because you are celebrating with others, you are making things happen for yourself. Things are in motion for you, and sometimes that kind of energy can be, attract, you know, the people, who kind of want to, you know, who are jealous or envious, to kind of come and try to steal some of that energy, suck the life out of you, kind of like. I mean, he's not a vampire in the deck, because we do have a few vampires, but no, I'm going to leave that at that, Judith. And I'm going to do a little poem here. What's the matter, Maz? Poor Mozzie. If you hear him yowling, Shan went into the bathroom, and he doesn't like it when Shan leaves him alone. And he starts to meow. Seems like a lot of the messages are about being the light, being the candle, being guided by candles. Hmm. I guess that for every poem. So, Judith, I have for you between the bouquet, remember the dried flowers in the book from your ancient history. Celebrate the spark, create creating the flame that draws people warmed by your light, leaving those behind be unwilling to play their game. So that's what I have for you, Judith. And I am going to. Hey, Roman, what's up? Let me take a quick sip here. Let's see. Let me back it up. Let's see. Jackie saying hi. So let me find out how far I got. Be right back. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, by the way, 3 more until Miss Tarot D. You only need 3 more people. Oh, we're going to so do this. Come on, everybody, create. I was going to say, I was like, if you have other channels that you go by, make sure that those channels are subscribed to Miss Tarot D as well. Let's get her up to that 1K. That is absolutely wonderful. Okay, so there is Judith. Wow, Heather, that sounds. Oh, about that. Okay, so let me. Yes, live thumbnail is beautiful. Okay, and Nancy shared something with us. As I contemplate all that is, I realize that I am surrounded by enough to share, enough to store in my heart, and that is enough. It so truly is, my dear. Thank you. I love when you share your poetry with us. So let's see, Jackie, it's a slow okay, talking about the healing. Single for many years. Okay, so you're the single. So yeah, that Knight of Cups. I didn't say whether or not, I didn't ask the pendulum whether this was a gentleman or not, but usually I ask my court cards to be such so that when I get one of those, I know who this person is this part of the reading. So yeah, that may be somebody that you might have known that might come around and say, "Hey, remember the good old yeah." I know I have a couple of those. I hope that resonated with you, my dear. Heather, the landlord, and she also said, "I can't have my garden next." Wow. Shame on Shan. I know, right? Who wants privacy in the thank you very much. Oh my goodness. Wow, what does your shirt say, Heather? Irene, it says feminism is for everybody. Small plants in your windowsill. That's an idea. Alrighty, am I all caught up? Yes, I am. So I got this book, Wee Moon, and Heather doesn't steer away from sharing how she feels about things. And of course, I am going to, seeing that this is about poetry and writing and everything. And with me wearing this shirt, quite interesting. I've been wondering if I want to keep this. It's a beautiful book, a lot about astrology and different art from artists and stuff. But there was something written in here about under the dedication. Now, for me, I have always learned or have been taught or experienced my experience. Bye, Selena. Thank you, my dear. You're so much welcome. I love you too. Thank you. Um, So I don't know if this is something that people might be interested in having a conversation. Seeing that people are very open to having conversations about, politics and everything and whatnot. Um, but for me, my experience, and I'm going here by me, Heather, from my 20s, even younger. Now, I was raised in a household where my mom was not prejudiced. My dad was. And I'm not knocking my daddy. I'm sure my daddy, is on the other side now, understands everything. But there were, certain circumstances. However, so when I was younger, I never thought of anything being out of the ordinary having black friends. I went to school. There weren't many, but I grew up, with a couple girls, Lisa and Serena. Their auntie, my mom, worked with over at Kmart when it was a sandwich shop. And they were a part of especially Angie, she was part of the family. And so there was never, then my mom would go to other jobs and I would meet women from different, races and backgrounds, including Bipper. She was an older, black lady that, oh, she was short, she was robust and round, and she had the beautiful smile with the dimples. And, oh, I never got to say goodbye to her, but Bipper, she was amazing. And so all through my life, I've never, when I got to college, then I started learning about women's history a bit more, women in religion, what happened to women in their sacred writings for the religions and everything. So I started gaining an education. And one of the things I learned about was feminism. And, um, and from what I seen in history, and having black friends, more of them in college. Well, I had them in high school too, but when you're in college, you're more mature. You start learning about the world, especially out the small world that I had lived in. It was just like wow. And so I learned about how, women of all backgrounds, white, black, Latino, all of them were getting together in the 70s, fighting for women's rights, and how important feminism was. And I had never thought of it because it had never been my experience that feminism is a white privilege thing. So I know I'm stepping into some toes here with water, but I'm just trying to set up for what I want to read and share. So for me, I have never seen my spirituality. Um, I was always embraced and welcomed in my community by all faiths, especially women of color, men of color. Well, it was mostly women in my pagan groups and in other groups I connected with. So it was always different, not just, it was a beautiful, like how America's supposed to be, the melting pot, you know? And so I remember being a part of the Native American organization. I can't remember. That's what they call. I believe that's what they called it. And I remember being in there one day and hanging out with two of the women, and this African American male came in, and boy, he was angry, and he didn't hesitate to start saying things about, you know, white folk. And with me being there, he assumed, by Judith. Um, and so he automatically assumed I was Native and was saying stuff. But so for me, again, and I'm wrapping this part up, it's just that my life has always been around trying to learn, understand, and accept people, especially when it comes to women, feminism. And in this book, they made a comment, and I don't know if I want to keep the book because I don't want that negative energy to continue. And maybe people, this is why I'm saying this is me, and maybe people can help me understand the perspective that they shared. And it says, it was just a couple short lines, but it says here, We Moon is dedicated to amplifying the images and voices of women from many perspectives and cultures. Love that. We invite all women to share their work with respect for cultural integrity and creative inspiration. Love it. We are fully aware, and this is where we are fully aware that we live in a racist patriarchal society. True. Its influences have permeated every aspect of society, including the very liberation movements committed to ending oppression. And then they go kind of after feminism. Feminism is no exception, historically and presently dominated by white women's priorities and experiences. That has never been my experience. For me growing up, I was inspired to see women of color fighting for women's rights through feminism, stating that they were a feminist. I have been to shows, I have been to concerts, I have been to gatherings, and for me, it this was just like wow. And then it continues saying that we seek to counter these influences in our work. And to me, it almost feels like it's negating the work and the camaraderie, the respect, and the efforts that all of us women of color, and people say us women of, for me personally, white is a color. So in all of this, and this is I know I this is something that I was like, do I want to share this openly with people on my channel? And I think yes, because I know that we all respect each other, we all respect our points of view, and for me, this feels like when they say that, it feels like everything all of us are women have fought for, going back to yes, it was primarily white women who walked for the women's right to vote, where a lot of that started. And a lot of people don't realize too that a lot of those women, they were murdered, they were beaten, they were essayed, they were assaulted, and yet women's strength has been so strong, and it still shows. Not doesn't matter to me what culture, my experiences is that we have all fought in some form or another this oppression that they talked about, but then to say we seek to counter these influences. So for me, that just is really rubbed me in a way that I don't know if I want to keep this book. And so for us and for entertainment purposes only, Miss Terody, this is just me openly sharing, you know, what my experiences have been, how I feel when it comes to writing, and what words and messages we put down on paper, whether through prose, poetry, writing. I mean, this is a beautiful book with lots of beautiful, beautiful art, and all women are included. But for me, was it necessary to put that comment in there? And I just want everybody to know that I love every single one of you for being exactly who you are. I respect the hell out of people who have had the life of having little to no privilege, abuse. I mean, I do acknowledge that being a white woman, I have had more um, privileges than my sisters of color. I have a friend, Amanda, who I've known since I was 25. We both have, and we both talked about this. But she's also has seen some same things as I have seen, and so for me, instead of putting something that felt kind of divisive in there, when right now we really need to bring us all together, you know? The world needs it. Like we talked with Desiree today, we need ceremony. Selena, her ancestors, and the burdens that she's carried of her ancestors. She's first generation, and what her ancestors had to go through. Um, for me, this is just it's something that's I'm very sensitive to, and I've been told in the past um, that I'm too sensitive. That um, yeah, that I'm too sensitive. But for me, I'm here to learn, to grow, to try to understand, and I don't think it was fair that that was written in the book because for me, for them to say we counter this, it's like the work that all the women that gotten together, white women included, to help all of our sisters move forward and to have rights, just felt like it was, to me personally, a spiritual, not it's just spiritual, but this is a spiritual book, like a slap in the face or a disregard. So I'm going to end it there, but I wanted to thank y'all for giving me the opportunity. And I just opened up to ancestors. And there's a beautiful poem in here I'd like to share. It's by Belinda Edwards, and it's called Crickets in Twilight. A long line of elder weavers walk into darkness toward the sound of crickets in twilight and water flowing over rocks, a bridge, a plank across. They gather at a hut, darkened with dreams. As they walk into the circle, each imagines the world into existence, weaving a story thread. In this crack, they are bound to ancestors, to Mother Earth, to original language. In this place, the Holy One resides, spitting tobacco on cloth, enticing the ancestors to surface, to speak, to thread, past, present, and future together. Here, each weaves an ancestral shawl. Here, in this twilight space, I am woven. I love that. And that was again by Belinda Edwards, 2024. And so when I read these beautiful things, and then yet I see that little jab, that jab, it makes me hesitate, it makes me consider. And I admire the work these women put into this book. I respect, even though I disagree with it and I don't like it, I do respect their platform and what they want to write and they want to share. But for me, it's like, can we have something like this that just embraces everything that everybody has done, together? So I'm just going to set that there and leave that there. And I thank everybody for allowing me to share this with them. So plant poison ivy and tell her to rip it up herself, Miss Tarot D. Actually, that's not a bad idea, Heather. Spirit didn't hear me say that. That's not a bad idea, really. But yeah. Judith, you go, girl. What did you do, Judith? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Then here we go. Let me just tap down. And again, it was not my intention. Heather likes to have these kinds of open conversations. And with it having to be with writing and what we put into words and onto paper. Yes, again, thank you, Ms. Tarody, for entertainment purposes only. Um, Perhaps. Very well, Miss Nancy, because they look at everybody abroad. Desiree said, "This is so good to talk about. You should do a weekly reading like that." Well, Desiree, I've kind of experienced some backlash in the past from me opening up and sharing how I feel about certain things on my channel. So I don't want that. I don't want to feel like I'm being, I don't want to be shut down, but I want to be able to learn how to present things in different ways. Well, not in different ways, but in the right way, but being able to express how I feel, how deeply affected certain things I read, I hear, I see, make me feel. We really have become part of a cancel culture. And a lot of what I see in music and in TV and stuff still continues to have women pitted against each other. And we allow it. And we watch, I mean, people, we watch some of these reality shows, and that's actually giving money to these TV shows saying, oh, people like this, let's keep doing more. And then you get this sense of mentality that, to be successful, to be this or that, you have to cut and tear people down. And for me, society, is waking up. I just wish it would do it a little more. Um, I just wish it would improve a lot faster. Let me just say, there is still much work to be done for equality. Yes, there is. Women are dangerous around where you are. Oh my goodness. Social groups. So yeah, that's where we need to learn how to be able to start. I've taken before I left New York. I was blessed to take part in a couple of talking circles that my friend Jill hosted, and she would bring the sacred feather, beautiful beaded feather, and we would sit in a circle. And the point of and this was done on International Women's Day, and we had all women there. We even had a woman from Ukraine that came to New York to escape the war. Um, and so each and every woman, from a young person, a young woman being there, a young teenager, all the way up to older women, crone age, just pretty much every age, nationality was represented, race was represented there, almost. But each time that feather got passed, nobody spoke, and they would allow that woman to talk. No judgment was made, no nothing. The what the woman shared was respect. It was what was said was out of respect. So it was a beautiful, and I wish we could get back to being able to do that. Sitting around, handing over and letting each person express their truth and how they feel, and being open and honest with one another. Let me see. I think I might miss something. It's interesting. I had not planned on talking about this today, but I was moved to. Let's see. This conversation was so uplifting and empowering, and these are the conversations that I wish we had on a more regular basis. Yes, there was an ugly past, but we have a bright future if we can just focus on that. Not saying not to teach the past, not to forget the past, but to do the shadow work, to heal it, to heal as much as we can, to acknowledge it, and to be able to move forward. And yes, some people will say, well, that's easy for me to say because I'm a white woman. Possibly. And then there are some that I have known in my life that would have been like, sweetheart, don't even, So again, different cultures, different being raised, our environments. Because, like, this beautiful picture that gets sent around, you see these young kids. One's, I think it's a one white boy, one black boy, and they're playing, and it says, racism isn't, you weren't born with it. You're raised with it. You know what I mean? We're not born hating one another. That's instilled within us. And what did you share, Judith? Heather, I grew up most of my life in a very prejudiced environment. And go figure, we found out a few years ago we are part Indian. My brother is trans, and my daughter is half Jamaican. I love all. That's beautiful. And yes, I have mixed grandnieces and nephews. And it breaks my heart to see the path that some of them that they've taken. I'm proud of what they pull themselves out of, but still, I don't speak to them. It's very sad. But yeah, I have a beautiful grandniece, Kayla, who was born. My niece had 5 kids. They were with different, fathers. Um, you know, but Kayla, was born with spina bifida. Um, Tiana, absolutely beautiful girl. Angelo, such a soft, quiet, handsome young boy. Um, it's just, and then my granny's Tiana had her first child, my great great nephew, Kymir, and I worry about their future, especially with the way the world is. But again, we are all on our paths, right? And it's up to us to know the right way. It's like that one tale that's told where a young indigenous boy Native boy asks his grandfather, how do you choose between good and bad? And it's talking about the tale of the black wolf and the white wolf, and not trying to make something bad or good, or but one, and is basically the story is, and again, I'm not trying to put that black equals bad. It's not. But the grandfather told the young boy, one wolf loves, one wolf hates. Let's focus it on that way. And we have to be, and this is the type of world. And the boy was just like, how do I not? And grandfather said, it's basically whichever wolf you feed, that's within you, because we have, both these aspects within ourselves. And how do I become, one and not the other? And the grandfather said it's based on pretty much what you feed it. Like milk thistle, poke your eye out stuff. I missed that. Judith, thank you, Heather. Beautiful chat. Aw, I try. I try to keep it real. I'm not trying to sugarcoat, but this is just things that affect me. And again, as I always say, this is my perspective. This is my reactions. This has been my experience. And I'm here to ask people how do they perceive things? Would they have reacted the same way, different? You know what I mean? It's, again, we're not we're not allowed to have conversations, it seems, anymore. You know, it always has to be everything sugar coated, everything. I know feelings are very important, but also being able to share our feelings, um, and our concerns and our understanding of things. That's how we get rid of the violence. That's how we get rid of the mistrust, to me, and the hate, is by being able to be, open and honest with one another instead of hiding everything underneath the rug. Um, Orange turd lovers. Yep, they're all over. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you, everybody. I moved from there to get away. Oh, you used to live in Alberta, Judith. My favorite feminist palm reader is Margot Atwood. She sounds familiar. I used to talk with her years ago, but not since I became poor. I don't think it would matter to her, Irene. I personally don't think it would matter to her whether you were rich, whether you were poor, in between. If you had a wonderful conversation with her in the past, um, I don't know how that would. I don't see how that would matter. Um, it will, and it helps for us just to be compassionate with each other and not to take offense. Irene is in Ontario. I am a hop, skip, and jump from downtown Toronto. So I have quite a few Canadian, and we were all living so close to each other at one point until I drove all the way across country. Um, Edmonton, okay. Oh, how beautiful. My daughter that passed lived down there for 3 years before. Always loved visiting there. Yeah, we all have our favorite places, don't we? That bring us happiness and joy. So talking about moving, yeah. Let's meet up for coffee in 20. That's awesome. Oh my goodness, you ladies should. Then you would have to come on and share. That would be wonderful. Oh, she's the one that wrote the hands me. I cannot watch the stuff because it's so dangerously I just I can't go down into that slope with that. All righty, very cool. So I've dropped from 12, 14 people down to 5, but thank you, ladies, for being willing to, listen to me. And hopefully, I didn't lose any, subscribers. But again, this is, just me sharing my perspective and my experiences in my life. And just hoping that it can maybe inspire people to have conversations of their own. The book is way different than the TV. I haven't even watched that. Thank you, Nancy. You know me when I talk about things that, sometimes people take them the wrong way. They get deeply hurt. And instead of having that conversation, let's talk. It's an automatic write off. How are we supposed to grow? How are we supposed to learn? How are we supposed to, connect? I mean, we're here to have this human experience. We're all going to, step up sometimes but I had my say. So thank you. Well, thank you, sister. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's 5 o'clock and I was hungry. I've been on for 2 hours. So thank you, everybody, for letting me read for you. Jackie B will be joining me tomorrow for Yamaye. That's the goddess she wanted to talk about. She's a Reuben Orisha that's honored and worship. I don't know if I should want to say worshipped, but she's honored and worked with in Santeria, and I believe maybe in a couple of other different faiths. So I'm looking forward into seeing and learning from Jackie B. What she brings to the table to learn about her. I even love saying her name, Yamaye. It's just beautiful, just flows right off the tongue. So, alrighty, ladies, thank you. Those who are watching, I appreciate you so much. And hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. 5 p.m. Eastern. So have a great night, everyone, and a great start to your week. Bye-bye.